Again, thanks for being here again today. Practice number 2, love the intensity. Wasn't as clean as I'd like practice 2 to be, but, I would probably guess that most of the time it's not. I anticipated that in our team meeting this morning, just saying yesterday you did a good job taking care of each other, and, but, after you get that taste of that first practice, the next day you want to go harder, and, thought there was too many, offsides on the defense. The offense did a nice job with their cadence. I thought, so that's a tribute to, Eli and the quarterbacks and Cade Bell. So he got him today. He won't get him again, but it's great that we see it that early of people trying to draw us off sides. I don't want to see it in September. Again, good work out of really all 3 phases, and pads go on Saturday. So that's kind of when you'll be able to tell a little bit more, at least up front. You see more out of skill guys nowadays, in these spiders than you do, really what you see out of the O-line, D-line, just because they don't have shoulder pads on. So I think it's tough that way. Questions?
What went into the decision to move Jaden Bonsu from safety to star linebacker in this defense, especially with Kyle obviously being the starter?
Yeah. Jaden Bonsu, he's done some really nice things at linebacker too, by the way. I mean, when I say that, he's a star, which is kind of like a safety in our defense. So it's a kind of a combination. We could eventually move him back to safety. What we want to do, I kind of told him the story of Jordan Whitehead. Like, I want him to master a position first. We felt like that was the best place for him to start off, and then we'll evaluate. But after 2 days of watching him out there, he picks things up. He's really smart, picks things up well. So I'm kind of excited about, what I've seen out of 2 days of him out there. He's got great burst. He runs to the football. He's been trained well from Ohio State. So as far as just he's not like a freshman out there. He understands how to practice at the collegiate level. So again, there's nothing in stone. There's never anything in stone, especially with those young guys. We're bringing them in. But what during the winter, he was kind of meeting with Coach Sanders and also Man Lackett and going back and forth. And I just think when spring ball starts, we got to say, okay, let's start here. Let's see what happens. And see what happens at the safety position too. We may say, hey, we need him back there. So we'll just kind of play it by ear. But I want him to focus on one thing, because I think if we focus on 2, he's going to be average, and we're not going to like him in anything. Right now I'd like him at the star position.
Similar question: what went into the decision to move Justin Cook from wide receiver?
Justin Cook's a talented kid. I'm fired up. We have him. Again, he can be a receiver as well as a running back. We just felt with the running back depth, we've got 2 freshmen coming in July, I guess. So we're going to have an opportunity to look at him at the tailback spot, then kind of just see where we know he can play receiver. We loved his videotape, so we know he can play wide receiver. We want to see what he can do in the backfield, and he might be a slash type guy that could do both. He's really smart as well, and I think those guys with football intelligence can do more things. And again, in our running back position, with Desmond Reed, he's got to catch balls out of the backfield, so it's not like we're going to just see him carry the ball. To have a guy that's a receiver that has running back athletic ability, and then get him the ball. So we're going to see his receiving ability and get his yak from that position as well.
Who has the early edge in backing up?
I would say right now it's Jewel's without a doubt. I mean, the guy's played in games, and it took him a while to get going, but he looked really good, in the bowl game, and he just has continued. Like him and Dez are like. 2 brothers. And again, when I say we got brotherhood in this room, but those 2, they do everything together. I mean, when Dez is going to stretch in the training room, Jewel's does. So I'd say him, but you need 2 or 3 or 4 of those guys. And, the Boosie kid, Turner, Jakarian, like he's, nicknamed Boosie. So if you hear me say Boosie, who is Boosie? I was talking to Jerry earlier about him, but he is talented. He makes you miss. And for a young guy, he's got a lot of tools as well. So we're excited about him and Justin Cook.
That's happening across the country where schools are canceling their spring games. Coaches saying they're afraid of other teams scouting their guys, trying to entice them into the portal. Would you consider putting up the spring game this year, and what made you decide to go?
No, we're not doing that. It's college football. It's an opportunity for our guys to go out and play in front of people, and to me, that's a whole other opportunity to go show what you have. So we're going to have a spring game. I think it's going to be fun. Our guys have fun. We do the draft. We'll do the draft. We'll split it up and let our guys go play. We have a lot of guys we want to see for that 15th practice. And again, to me, those 15 days, that 15th day of being able to, to go out and have fun, play a game, a real game, like practice. They're having fun today, and they had fun Tuesday, and they'll have fun, hopefully practice 10 and 11. By practice 12 and 13, they're ready to play a game. And I think to have another practice, they'd be disappointed too. I'm not worried about the portal and guys getting recruited and all that. Like, they know who our guys are. I mean, they know who they are. They're going to have video. They got PFF.
What could be done about the tampering that's going on?
Absolutely nothing. It's embarrassing. And my fear is, just with, all the booster and NIL involvement that we have throughout the country, it took a long time to get that kind of under control, right? I mean, I would say there's still some teams that were still, finding ways to get kids paid, but at least they had to hide, and maybe some of these head coaches around the country were nervous about it being done. But now they let the cat out of the bag now, and now they got to get it back eventually, hopefully. I don't know, I don't know where that'll go. So, the great thing is with revenue sharing and the House settlement on April 7th, that'll hopefully maybe manage some things. It'll take some take some time there to get that done. But then to now all of a sudden say ho on that stuff, good luck to you.
Pat, how would you describe the difference now having a year of Cade, knowing it's Eli, with the offense you're going through spring drills?
Yeah, Jeff, I mean, it looks, I was sitting there thinking that myself today. They're doing a team tempo period, trying to go as fast as they can, get guys lined up. They're getting lined up so much faster. It's like, even though we've got a bunch of new wideouts, but, just everybody being on the same page, and obviously we've done a better job coaching, but the second year always helps. And it helps when you got some older guys, whether it's Kenny, Kenny Johnson out there leading that receiver group and making sure guys are doing the right things, and they understand it. Even if it's back in the Bridge on the Forbes where they live, they're getting together, and the receivers are now able, the running backs are able to coach each other on things. The running backs can coach each other. The older guys, take the younger guys under the wing. But it looks totally different as far as just the tempo. We still got to go out and execute, still aren't nearly where we need to be. But just the tempo and it's always going to be better in year 2. It's going to be better in year 3.
What have you seen from the 2 tackle transfers, and how has Ryan Baer sort of welcomed that competition there?
Yeah, Ryan Baer's a man. He's the leader of that group. I can tell you that. Ryan Baer's like this. I mean, if you want to try to read Ryan Baer, I think Ryan Baer's coming in today, right? He's a straight. He's got to try to get a smile on his face, but he just does his job, and leads by example when he's out there. But it's been great, really. I mean, I think that O-line's always got a bond that maybe is different than the receiver bond. Those guys bond together, and Jeff Percy's done a nice job. Kendall Stanley's done a nice job. Keith has done a great job. So we're happy. Again, no pads on for those O-linemen, D-linemen. We're going to find out when the bullets start flying on that practice field. What they have. But I'm happy with really all of our O-line and D-line transfers.
Coach, a lot of new guys on the team. What's really started to stand out? I know only 2 practices, but
The young guys?
the new guys.
The new guys. I kind of made EJ give me a list of them all, so I could make sure. I'll start off on defense. The 3 defensive ends: Jaden Moore, Blaine Spires, and Joey. Have done a nice job. Again, we'll see when the pads go on, but we're happy with them. We already talked about the O-lineman a little bit there. Bonsu's done some nice things. Emmanuel Taylor, young guy, linebacker. He's like a deer in headlights right now. He went out there and tackled somebody, in a 2-minute drill. We had to take him off. It's like he's still got to figure it out. Like he's just going a million miles. It's fast for this freshman. They haven't graduated from high school yet. They haven't been through, haven't been to senior prom yet. But he's talented. We saw that through, just the workouts. But he'll figure it out, and is a great kid. Justin Thompson's done a nice job, at the Mike spot. And then at the back end, some guys that have really, really 3 of them. Kavir Baines has done a nice job. He's twitchy out there. He's got great football IQ. Also on the hash, Josh Guerriere has been really, really. He had a nice play on Tuesday. We watched the tape today, but I saw him make a bunch of new plays out there today. So I'm happy with where he is. Rashawn Murray, playing corner, Cal PA guy. He caught an interception today, I believe. He's got ball skills. He competes. He's a competitor, and I like that. You need those corners out there that are pressed up to compete. So I like where he is. Offensively, we talked about 3 linemen. Mason, you guys saw a little bit of him in bowl practice. Mason, Heinschelt's done a nice job. He's accurate. He's got a quick release. Well, I'm really, really happy with where he is. Shakarian, Turner, Boosie has done a nice job. And then we got a slew of receivers. And again, till the pads come on, till there's contact, but they all have made our rooms better. I mean, Katarius Hicks, nicknamed Blue, has done a nice job. He's got a lot of wiggle. He's got some swag out there. Andy Jean's done some nice things. Tony Kinsler is a true freshman. The other guys are transfers. Tony's done a nice job as well. He's explosive, and he was impressive all through the winter as well, just with everything he did. Cameron Sapp, another young puppy, one of our late gets. Tuesday made a nice deep ball catch, contested catch, which was nice to see. He's got some stuff about him out there, so it's fun. His shorts look like they're down to his calves out there, but he's been fun to watch. Deuce Spann is another big guy from Florida State that we're happy about, and Bryce Yates. I mean, so we got a lot of guys there, and then James London, our kicker, kicked for the first time today. He was just okay. First day, probably a little tight. He's probably not happy. He's probably pouting in the locker room right now. But he didn't hit 100% of them. And again, it was no pressure. But again, first day kicking. Yesterday, he didn't kick at all. Or Tuesday, he didn't kick at all. So that's some of the young guys.
There's three offensive linemen. Percy's a tackle, and the other guys.
Stanley's a tackle as well, and Keith is the one guard. Now again, I think any of them could go inside, but maybe Percy's probably not going inside because he's like 6'7.5". But I think Kendall could play anywhere up front if we needed him to.
Julian, the primary backup to Eli, is there any thought of maybe putting in special packages for Julian in the offense?
You saw the bowl game, Amanda, right? So yeah, there's no question about it. They'll have to, they'll have to defend him in the run game, and he hurt you in the pass game too. So, there's always going to be a special package for him.
The big guys.
Who's phone? He's playing music in there.
Oh, you know what? I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Sorry.
That's my fault.
Chris,
No, it's different alarm. I mean, Chris,
It's all right.
there you go.
I'm not going to throw you out of the meeting.
Coach, who are the main guys going out for Michael on that?
Who are the big guys?
Who are the main guys?
The main guys right now, Jeremiah Marshall and Lovelace is in there starting right now, and then Justin Thompson. Again, we're always going to play our three best. Kyle Lewis could go in there and play Mike. He'd be dangerous. I don't know what he would do in there. Be interesting. Might have to try him there one day. But I think those guys have done a nice job in there.
Now, where can Kyle improve this year? Obviously, we saw a lot. Do you find some of the younger guys gravitating to him because of what he did last year?
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, everybody wants to be like Kyle. Kyle, is a super kid. I mean, he plays with a lot of intensity, and he turns it loose. He could always be more detailed. There's some things that he does that we can be better at. I mean, like everybody, right? Like everybody. I mean, he was, obviously an All-American, consensus All-American, but there's still things mentally and physically that he can get even better at. So there's, we got a list of things for each guy. They got a video on the computer of all their mentals and physicals from the season, so they can look. Okay, let me look at my mental errors, so he doesn't make those mistakes again, and then the physical errors. So whether it's going under a block, I mean, again, we know those guys. Nobody's going to be perfect, but he's got a lot to work on, and I think he knows it. But he's playing at a high level in the first 2 days in shorts.
Is Chris in line to take over the starting strong safety position
It's who?
right now?
Cruz?
Cruz,
Yeah, Cruz Perkins right now. And again, we're gonna, that's why they practice. You can say starters. I hope I have 4 starters back there, right? I hope I have 4 starting corners. But Jesse Anderson's been really good so far. I mean, so Jesse's competing, over there, really both sides, with Javon. And again, like I said, Josh Guerriere and Bain, we'll see.
Do you expect Derek Davis to play at all this year?
No, not right now. He's out. I'm hoping he's back for camp. To be honest with you, he had a pretty serious, injury up there in Boston, and since September we had 19 off-season, surgeries. That's more than maybe 2 or 3 years combined. I don't know, but so we lost some guys that way that maybe don't participate this spring, and he will not participate this spring for sure.
Do you have anybody else that's out for all of spring?
I don't know. Yeah, 19 surgeries. So yeah, we do. Jerry, tell him. You want to talk injuries? I gave you.
What about Nate Temple?
Nate's doing good. There's a guy that came off an injury, played the last 2 or 3 games of the season, and Nate's doing well right now. He knows he's a leader. He's a new appointed Eagle, which I think is his first time. So he does a great job leading as well as, he's been here for 10 years, so that's not true, but so don't print that.
Chuck transfer?
No, Chet is still on campus. He's going to get his degree in December. He had an off-season, one of the 19. Maybe he's 20. I don't know. But he's going to probably focus most of his attention on track. He'll be, he's got a chance to be really good there. I think it's really his first love, but he's still rehabbing, an injury.
Anything final? Return players.
All right.